And when I work with people on changing their name, that's what we work on because it's really not easy to change your name. Okay. But he starts getting into music. He runs away from his family and he starts getting into music. And who's gonna want Reginald to play the piano, right? So he becomes Elton John. Take a look at these numbers. They're wild. He's got an 8, just like you, in his soul number, which is all about power and energy and manifestation and success. Then he still has the 6, so he's kind and his music is very loving. So he still has some of these qualities. And then he has 5 in expression. Now, if I was going to say, Elton, you need a number, I would say 5. Because 5 is being out there.
Hey beautiful soul, I'm Hayden Crawford, your host and soul guide here at the Dreamtime Academy, a cosmic mystery school for starseeds and truth seekers, just like you, who are looking at rediscovering your inner wisdom for a life of more freedom, joy and purpose. Now, before we dive into today's episode, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to this channel and click the bell for future notifications so that you never miss one of my podcast episodes of either the Numerology Show or Cosmic Conversations, or indeed some of my transmissions, which will help to activate the next layer of your spiritual awakening. I'm the author of the Starseed Ascension Guide and the Cosmic Family Oracle cards, both designed to help you to reconnect to your higher self and remember who you truly are. If you want to dive deeper, we have an online membership portal called the Oversoul Codex Collective, where you can join a like-minded group of starseeds from all across the planet as you delve into courses in numerology, colour therapy, and cosmic consciousness as well. You can also support this channel by becoming a member, either as a soul spark or a codex keeper. If you're feeling the call to join us together in person, then we also host consciousness expanding retreats in Perth, where you can really start to experience this incredibly immersive work within community environment. Once again, your support really helps this channel to grow. So thank you for joining this team of galactic light workers from all across the planet, helping to expand consciousness and bring light into the darkness. So welcome to another episode of the Numerology Show. I'm your host, Hayden Crawford, and today we're diving deep into the numbers that shape our soul's evolution and how 2025 is acting as a cosmic catalyst for transformation. Joining me is the brilliant Greer Jonas, intuitive numerologist, artist, teacher, and creator of the numerology journey cards as well. Greer brings numerology to life with a spiritual twist, and today she's here to decode the magic behind your inspiration number, a number based on your birth month and the day that reveals your personal spark for change this year. We'll also look at how changing your name can alter your numerological blueprint using real examples, including Elton John's transformation from Reginald Dwight. And yes, I'll be putting my own chart under the microscope as well. Let's welcome the wonderful Greer Jonas.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm really excited about this.
Oh, well, I'm really pleased that you're here, and it's great to get your wealth of experience about numerology to share with the rest of the world. Now, Greer, let's start by exploring 2025 and how it's a time of transformation in all of our lives. What do you want to say about it?
Okay. So when you look at numbers, they're like energy. It's like a different language, and it works with vibration, and it's almost like music. Like Pythagoras used the numbers for healing tones. So each number has a certain vibration. And when you add 2 plus 2 plus 5, it adds to a 9. Year of transformation. Transformation, change. The 9 represents, it actually represents endings and new beginnings. Okay. When we look back at 2024, that was the year of the 8. Okay. So it goes from 1 to 8, 1 to 9, and then back to 1 again. So the 8 was a time of assertiveness, aggressiveness, power, lots of arguments, just in case you didn't notice, with the politics and all that. So it was a very powerful time. However, there was a lot of frustration. Okay. Then we move into 9. I'm not going to get political, but you can all see that this is a time of change, a real time of change. And in transformation, we go from 1 to 9, and then the 9 is completion. So what happens next? It's kind of like, well, we're not going to stay solid. We're going to transform. But what happens in between? And what happens in between are the questions that we live with. And that's kind of like a zero place. It's the unknown. And a lot of us are confused, even anxious, because we may not like what's happening over there, but we don't know what's happening over there. So we're like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And it's time for change. And what I work with people a lot, and it's really, some people get anxious. Some people they don't know what my future is, and in some cases, the whole world is dealing with that, right? But what I do with numerology is, this is a time to ask yourself, what would you like to change in your life? What is your vision? What do you want to change so you're not putting up with the same stuff? And so in a lot of ways, it's a very exciting time, but you have to go through it. And I start with every reading to have people breathe and feel grounded, because it's kind of a rocky road.
It really
So
is.
anyway,
It is. It's a definite time of endings and that
absolutely.
potential for new beginnings. So I love what you just
Right.
said about it being, a great time for us to sort of ask ourselves, what is it that we want moving forward and
Right.
how do we want that to
Exactly.
look? And that helps you
Exactly.
overcome the anxiety, doesn't it? Because everyone is very
It
tense.
does. It does. It does. And to find peace, and a lot of people are connecting to their spiritual selves or connecting to nature, getting really grounded, because we need that. The 9 time is change. It's not very grounding. Okay. So ground yourself, everyone. It's my message. Anyway, but it is a great time for exploration.
Wonderful.
Okay.
So, okay
So,
then. So,
yeah,
Greer,
go
what
ahead.
what is the inspiration number then? Also known as the catalyst number, and why is it important in a nine universal year like 2025 to discover
Right.
this?
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting things going on. But when you add your month and day, it represents your catalyst, what inspires you. Example, I'm April 1st. So 4 + 1 is 5. What inspires me is energy. What inspires me is being out there in the world. Now, when you take that inspiration number and you look at transformation, how am I going to be out in the world? Thus, a podcast comes up, right? And this is really so helpful to people because their inspiration number, it helps them live their truest life, but it also can be what they fear. Again, like me, being out there in the world is not so easy. So you have both of those things, but this is really the time to look at what we want to change in our lives, what we want to transform, and how we want to move forward.
Ah, so
So
okay then.
that's the
I'd,
inspiration
I'd love
number.
for us to look at my own inspiration number. I'm
Yes,
calculating it as you're saying it. And I think I'm an 8 because I was born on the 16th of
yes, you
October.
are.
And
Yes, you are. So
what
it's
does this
October
mean?
16. So 1 + 1 + 6 is 8. Okay. But before, you mind if I tell them your year?
No, not at all. That's
Okay.
fine. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Because it really fascinates me because you are exactly in the place that it just makes sense. Because 1972, when you add the 1 + the 1 + the 6 + the 1 + the 9 + the 7 + the 2, it adds to a 27, which reduces to a 9. Okay. So the 9, along with transformation, is the intuitive, the person who really looks at the bigger picture of things. Not just the norm, not just everyday things, but what is the mystery? What is different? Thus, numerology, and I know you work with colors and all kinds of, I mean, you're so 9, yet you have an 8 inspiration number, which totally grounds you. And not only that, but the 8 as an inspiration number is all about success, power, being out there in the world as a charismatic leader. So you got both. Fantastic, fantastic to be in that. I mean, it's almost like the color purple that you're wearing. It's lively, yet it's different. And you look towards the different, towards the unknown. So it's just so beautiful because sometimes 9s can be like the guru of the Western world, like on the mountaintop and people have to come to them. But having an 8, 8 inspires you. So what inspires you is actually inspiring others
Yeah, it's
and
absolutely.
empowering others.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's interesting as well because my husband was born on the same day as me, but 1 year different. But so he's actually a
He's a
life path.
1.
Yeah, he's a life path 8, and he is also then
Is
his inspiration number will be the same as well, won't it?
Wait, if he was tell me again his birthday,
So he's
October
born on the
16th?
16th of October, same as me. So
Right.
he's got his inspiration number and his life path number is a number 8. So I've got a lot of 8
Oh,
influence
oh.
around me then, haven't I?
Oh, yes. Now, very interesting because we're dealing with relationships. So, like, he is all about what are you going to do next? How can I empower you? And a bit more grounded than you?
Very much so.
With the 8, it's like, let's get it done. Let's get it done, which is great to inspire as long as he allows you to explore, because the 9 needs to explore, you know. And if you connect in that way, boom, both you can help him see the other side of things and not just his way.
Mm. Absolutely. No, that's how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been together
So
25
good.
years. Yeah, so it's a very good, solid, very supportive
Right.
dynamic that we've got, which is really, really great. And it's interesting because I've knowing this about myself as my inspiration number being the 8 is actually made a lot of sense because I often think, oh, well, maybe it's Mark, my husband, who brings that sort of business side to things. But actually, no, I've actually got it within myself as well. So it's quite empowering to know that. So
Right.
thank you for
And
sharing that.
it's so unique because it isn't just the facts. It's also you put in a new perspective that may not have been thought of. And as long as Mark is good with that, boom, great. But if you too want to do different things, there could be, you know,
Yeah, oh, he
or
loves
you
it.
just figure out, okay, I'm gonna do this tonight, and you're gonna do that tonight,
Hmm.
right? It's got to be both ways, but boy, you two could actually have a business together.
Yeah, we do. We do.
Oh,
We
you
actually,
do.
yeah, we run retreats together.
Oh,
He's got his own job. So like he works in the travel industry and he has done for
yeah,
30 years.
perfect.
But we've got a
Uh-huh.
travel channel as well, a YouTube travel channel where we explore the world and we go to luxury destinations and stuff. So
Oh,
we do that together. And also we host retreats as well for ladies
right.
in Perth where he does all the cooking and I do all the classes and stuff. So um,
This is so great.
yeah, he's very
Like the
supportive.
retreat is the 9, and the travel is the 8, and the two of you like do it together, and you have different jobs. You don't compete with each other. Oh, it's perfect, perfect, perfect.
Yeah, so we're 5 months now into 2025. So
Right.
based on my chart, what themes,
So,
shifts, or challenges might be arising for me right now?
right. I just want to just say something else about 2025, the year of transformation. Now, when you add a 9 to any number, it cancels itself out. Okay. So if you add an 8, which is your inspiration number, to 2025, it's what is it? It's
An 8.
an 8. Yeah. It always works that way. Okay. So what it means is that everyone is in a personal year of their inspiration number. So, what inspires people in life is up this year. Thus, the visions. I mean, I work with people to create a vision statement and like that is directed towards what do you want to do differently in your life? What is working? What isn't working? You know, and 5 months into, and this is, we have to be easy on ourselves because this is not an easy year. I don't know what it's like in Australia, but I know what it's like in the United States. So it's an uneasy time. So I'll just throw it right back at you. What would you like to do in your life now? And have you been already doing something?
Yeah, probably this. So it's
Yeah.
yeah, so it's a lot of things have kind of started being completed this year for me, like my book, my oracle cards, the podcast has
Beautiful.
started, and we're also thinking about moving overseas again. We're thinking about moving back to Europe, to France, over the next few years or whatever. So we're going on a big trip in 8 weeks' time to France, and then jumping on a cruise around Europe. So we are going through some big sort of internal changes. And
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
we're looking for what the next chapter is going to look like, if you know what I mean. So we're both at this sort of the 0 point, I suppose.
You're in a 0 point and you're taking action. So you're doing it, and you're both in an 8 year and will always be in the same personal year. No, that's not true. Is it true? Yes,
Yeah, it is.
of course, it's
Yeah.
true. You'll always be in the same personal year. So you'll always be on the same road, which again, there are positive and negatives. But here with the 8, you get things done. It's like you have ideas and you are planning it. I'm telling you, I would say you might be 5% of the population. People are like second guessing, should I even go on a plane? You're taking steps, which is the 8. The 8 likes adventure, and it's very exciting. It's very exciting, and it sounds like there's a lot of things. I mean, you're thinking of moving. I mean, so much.
Yeah, there's lots going
It's
on.
great.
It is, but it doesn't feel chaotic. It just feels
No,
very,
because you guys are 8s. You
yeah.
both, it's like, this is just minor. I mean, one person takes care of hacking and one person takes care of getting the supplies. It's not like there's not confusion in your steps. There's action in your steps. That is the 8. There's action in your steps. So it's great.
No.
And if you can give yourself, both of you, give yourself time to reflect, as you know how to do. I don't know if he knows how to do that. There might be other numbers in his chart, but um, to make sure you reflect and you get grounded and you don't jump like immediately out into the unknown.
Yeah, we've done
Because
that too many times
it
before. Yeah.
doesn't like unknown.
We've learned
No,
we've
the
learned through
8.
our experiences because yeah, when we first came to Australia, that was 15 years ago. We left the UK and we emigrated, and of course we came with nothing but a box of accessories and a cat, a white cat, and we had no money. We had just enough money to be able to have a rental in Rockingham for about the first 2 or 3 months. And that was it. So then I went into recruitment, which is what I used to do for 15 years. Marky got a job in Telstra, which was out of his comfort zone, and we just made things work. But we've
Yeah.
learned through doing that it's not the right way to do it. So we now we take calculated risks, and we strategize, and we just make sure that everything's done properly because it's like we it was you always make things work, but sometimes you can have the road a lot less sort of tumultuous and rocky.
Yeah. 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 But I don't know if you're just talking like this, but there feels like there's so much confidence in your relationship, but in also what you're doing. You'll take risks, but it's not with so much fear and anxiety. It's like, that 8 is like, boom, here we go, here we go. And like, use your 9, let's say, okay, well, maybe we should do this a little slower, or something like that. Use your 9 to make, see the bigger picture of where things go. And it's very impressive to hear you, because like I said, maybe 5% are doing what you do.
Oh wow, I didn't
It
realize
it
that. Well, thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
That's very sweet.
Yeah. No, it's great. And being into numerology, into the spiritual realm is not easy for people to stay grounded. I know I do it when I can, and I have to do my qigong and things like that to stay grounded, but it's so important because if you're not grounded, then it's hard, especially in the 9 year, especially at this time. We just need to stay grounded.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting,
Yeah.
that you talk about groundedness because, like, in the color mirrors system that I work with, bottle number 9 is this red over orange bottles called Mars. So this color influences the 9 year, and of course, red is a very good color for grounding, isn't it?
Grounding, yes,
Yeah.
yes. That's so interesting.
It
That's so
is.
interesting that red, because I wouldn't think red and nine go together, but maybe it stimulates the nine. Is that what it does?
Well, you see, red and orange kind of connect to the number 9 because it's Mars. 9 is Mars, which is fire energy, actually. And you can see what happened in California at the beginning of this year. There was all those huge
Yes,
fires, and
yes,
the
yes.
red, is very good for helping you take action, move out of
Oh,
survival issues,
and stay, red is grounded. Yeah,
and grounded.
yeah,
Exactly. So
yeah.
it
It's the
all
first
ties in.
chakra, right?
It always ties in, doesn't
Wow,
it, Greer?
so interesting.
Yeah. So, Gria, what questions would you invite someone to reflect on if their inspiration number reveals an area that feels blocked or
Hmm.
confusing in their life?
Hmm. Well, I have been asking people to look at what they want to do in their lives, and I say to them, this is the time to reflect. What's not working? What are you unsatisfied with now? And let's take a look at that. What do you want? If you could do anything, what would you do? And then we start, I do a whole vision statement, meditation, finding a box, looking at the words that calls out to you. And I actually do a 30-day vision statement where they draw and they write and they look at what they want to do and take action. That's important. That's important in the 9 year to take some form of action because the nine could be really in their head. So very important.
Yeah, I love that. And actually, it's interesting because in color psychology, action is a red thing as well. So, it's about
So
grounding,
interesting.
taking action. It's all this
Uh-huh,
red
uh-huh.
stuff that's coming up, but it's also survival, safety, security. It's our base
That's
chakra
totally
stuff.
red. And that's the first chakra. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm. It's war.
Interesting.
It's it's
Yes.
all of that red psychology, and of course the victim is the shadow of the red as well. The victim, and actually, it's really the shadow of the 9 as well. If you think about the 9 as being wanting to be of service, the opposite of that is being a servant, isn't it? Where
Yes, yes. It's very important to look at what is your what is great about you and let go of insecurity, let go of what people that expression, what people think of me is none of my business.
yeah,
Like saying that all the time because and people are, that is another thing that happens in the nine is it's reflection time. So you look at your past, you look at your family, and you look at what you learned about yourself as compared to what you love about yourself. And it's really important, to say every day, I love myself. And how can I be great? It's like me as an artist. 3 is my destiny, which is art. And I didn't really start doing my art till my 20s because, mom would say, well, you won't make any money in art, so I get really insecure. And it's about letting go of those judgments that are maybe not even yours.
And
you
those
know?
beliefs as well, the beliefs that were formulated of you won't make money doing art.
Right. Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. It's interesting about colors though, and we won't get into it, but there's like different different viewpoints. Like like I look at nine as purple.
Interesting.
So that's very interesting. We'll have to discuss this sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, remember
Yeah,
again, the vibration of numbers and colors, can change. It's like the chakra colors change as we evolve as a human race. So the
that's
base chakra
true.
doesn't always stay red. When we lose our
Right.
survival issues, it actually turns clear. So, all the chakras
Oh,
are on their way to evolving into becoming a rainbow. So that I think that, we've got to
that's so
recognize.
interesting.
Yeah, they change. We change. The human race is changing and evolving. So of course, the vibration of the color associated with
Right,
those energy centers is going to
right,
evolve as well.
right.
Yeah.
And that's why I like to, when I do my vision statements with people, I ask them to bring crayons so that they can draw something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
So that, yeah, because I understand the value of color, obviously, because I'm a painter.
Of course you
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've actually done some really fascinating work around name changes as well. So
Yes.
can we talk
Yes.
about
Yes.
how shifting a name can change the vibrational frequency of somebody's numerology chart?
Yes. I would love to. And we're going to go right to Elton John because he's a perfect example. Um, well, first I want to show you the Pythagoras chart. So the way in Pythagoras, the numbers go from 1 to 9 and then back to 1 again. So you see the A, J, and S is the number 1, while the B, K, and T is the number 2. So when you do a chart, you put the number of each letter on the top and on the bottom, and you add it together, and that equals what your expression number is, what your soul is, what your personality is. Okay, so here comes Elton John. Now, Elton John, we all know him as a magnificent composer and writer and singer and entertainer, right? He was born in a very distinguished family with the name Reginald Kenneth Dwight. So automatically, it makes me want to sit up straighter, Dwight, it's a very distinguished name. Um, but it was also not him. I mean, you look at him and he's just an animated being, and Dwight is very conservative. And when you look at the numbers and you'll see the charts, um, he has in Reginald Kenneth. So first thing we do is we look at the birth name, okay, and we also look at the name you're called. So like Reginald Dwight, okay, and those vibrations add to a 2 with Reginald Kenneth Dwight. It adds to a 2. This is expression number. And then as Reginald Dwight, it's a 6 as the expression number. Okay. If I never saw Elton John before and didn't know he had a very reserved family, very reserved. He's got a 2 expression. Here he is, this entertainer inside, and forget the numbers, inside his soul, he's like this wild being. He's got a 2 expression. There's no place to move. The 2 is please others. It's connecting with others. It's love. It's fairness. But there's no let's get out there and do, right? And then as Reginald Dwight, he's got a 6 expression number. 6 is loving and caring, which is probably true about him. I mean, I don't know him personally, but it's loving and caring, and it's caring what other people think before self. So there's a real shadow there. So he had no place to move. And when I work with people on changing their name, that's what we work on, because it's really not easy to change your name. Okay. But he starts getting into music. He runs away from his family and he starts getting into music. And who's gonna want Reginald to play the piano, right? So he becomes Elton John. Take a look at these numbers. They're wild. He's got an 8, just like you, in his soul number, which is all about power and energy and manifestation and success. Then he still has the 6, so he's kind and his music is very loving. So he still has some of these qualities, and then he has a 5 in expression. Now, if I was going to say, Elton, you need a number, I would say 5. Because 5 is being out there. Like 5, like Mick Jagger has a 5 destiny, 5 is being out there, entertaining, everything. So this changing Elton John changing his name, besides it sounding really good, it's totally perfect for him to really connect to a new energy, not worry so much about what other people think, although he might go there, but to have this energy of being out there and enjoying playing the piano. He's my perfect example of changing your name.
I think it's a brilliant example, Greer, because it's very obvious to see from the numbers how much that's helped to shape his successful entertainment career, and for him
Yes.
to really embrace that instead of shrinking back. I mean, Reginald Dwight, it sounds almost like he's from an army family or something, doesn't it? It's like,
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
reminds me of
Very proper.
yeah,
He's anything but proper.
Do you remember that show on TV? I think it was called The Rise and Fall of Reginald Perrin. I don't know, with Leonard Rossiter many years ago.
I
So
don't remember it,
it
but I can
reminds me of
imagine.
that. Yeah. So I don't think I've ever met a person called Reginald in my life. But if I did, I think I would be like, hello, sir.
Yeah,
I'd be a bit like that.
exactly.
Which he's not like
Exactly.
that at all, is he? He's just a big bundle of gooey, sort of fun and marshmallows. That's really how I see Elton John.
Right. Well, the thing is that it's easier for him to be who he really is, and that's what happens when people really feel moved to change their name. It doesn't feel right. It's not easy to change your name. For Elton, it might have been easy, but for most people, it's not easy to change your name. And it has to be like, I just have to do it, and then you can go ahead and do it. So, and I work with people on that, and sometimes they change their name and then they go back, because it's not right. And I have others who like, boom, here I am. Because, and people will say to me, like, say a Thomas might say to me, everyone calls me Tom. It just feels right. So it's kind of like that,
Yeah,
It's not like
that's
this
how people would.
mystery science. It's not like a mystery science like I don't believe in that. I don't tell people they have to change their name or they have to put like two R's in their name or like something that would be very hard to do. I don't tell people that. I say, let's work with it and you'll see how you feel.
Mm. So
Anyway, I
really, it
interrupted.
goes back to them intuiting and feeling into the name. So that's how someone would choose a spiritual name or a pen name.
Sure.
Um, so
hmm hmm
so and that's how they would know whether it's aligned with their higher path. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they have to try it out. And I tell people that too, especially with the spiritual name. They have to live with it, they have to try it out. And sometimes, different times in their life, they feel that spiritual name. It's different.
Hmm.
It,
Have you ever been tempted to change your name, Greer?
well, when I was young, everything rhymes with Greer. I mean, I had my science teacher said, "Here's Greer. Have no fear. Oh dear." And you would just go on and on. And I was so embarrassed. But I really like my name now because it's so different. Not many people are named Greer, and I am fine with it. I'm fine with it. Yes, when I go to Starbucks, I tell people my name is Greta because they can never figure out how to spell my name or how to say my name. But no, the answer is I'm fine with it.
Yeah, no, it's a great name. I like unique names. I've always loved my name as well. I've always found it, just very fitting for me. And so I understand, when people want to change their names, that it's like an inner calling, a soul calling for them
It's an
to,
inner calling, yes.
yeah.
And sometimes it happens later on in life. I'm not there. And what I do love doing is giving people pen names, for their book.
So how do you work that out then?
I always say, okay, what would you like? What would you like to be called? Or like what names do you like? Or we'll take their name and play around with it, and something calls them, and then I'll have them say their name and write their name and like that,
So can a
you know.
pen name then alter the success of a book?
Sure it could. Yeah, it could.
Mm.
Are you thinking of, oh, you are writing a book?
Oh, I've written a book. I've already done that. I did think about using a pen name instead of mine, but then I was like, nah,
Oh,
it's
your
almost
name
like an
is great.
autobiography. So it would be silly to put a pen name when it is personal
Yeah,
to me, so I thought, well, I'll leave it
yeah,
just as authentically me. But
right.
if I could have a different name, I think I'd call myself Brenda.
Back in the days, they did that. The women. Who was the author? I can't remember the author. Do you know the author? There was a famous author that was a woman. I can't remember the name right now. But J.K. Rowling, she might not admit that she did this, but J.K. is not obviously a woman,
No,
so there adds a mystery to it,
it does add a mystery.
you
Yeah,
know.
it's interesting,
But
isn't
do
it?
you know what your numbers are?
For my name,
Yeah,
yeah,
like
it's a one.
your expression. Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So
Perfect
the total
book.
name number.
Moving forward, totally. And also describing, you said it's about you. Yeah.
Oh, the book is,
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, so it's an inspiration. It's divine inspiration. That's what the one is. So it's perfect to have that name. And the name is so cool.
Oh,
It
you're
sounds
saying all the
like
right
an
things. You're saying all the right things there, Greer. Now then, just a little bit of a deeper dive into practical application. So, can you tell us about your numerology journey cards and how people can use them to connect more
yes,
with their own
yes.
soul's path?
right. I created these cards years ago, and each number has the value of the I'll show you the some of the pictures later on. Um, each number has a value. Um, so like the one is, new beginnings, okay? And it's like a fire and a sun,
Hmm.
So like each number has a painting that has a different feeling to it because I use colors, maybe
Yeah.
not the same as your colors.
Well, it's funny because you're talking
That's
about the
that's
number one.
definitely
This is the
sun.
sun. This is called the
That's
sun.
totally yes,
Yeah.
yes, it is. It
It's the
totally
person, it's
is.
personal power, isn't it? It's yellow solar
Yes,
plexus stuff, the one. It's
absolutely,
about the self.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And the cards also have a beautiful statement on it. And I'll show you an illustration at the end of this. But so I work with people, they can buy their own cards, or I work with people like pick a card and what do you want to work on and like that. Yeah.
Wonderful. That's great. No, they
Yeah.
sound very inspired and very in alignment, with the truth.
Thank
I think
you.
it's wonderful when you bring imagery and numerology together because it adds
Right.
an extra understanding. And some people are visual learners, aren't they? Some people
Yes, they
learn
are.
through listening, some people learn through color.
Mhm.
I am a visual learner. I've got to be able to tangibly feel the vibration of a number through the lens of color. And that's how I anchor the information. So I would imagine your beautiful numerology journey cards are going to be a very useful tool in someone's toolbox.
Right. Right. And I also work a lot with the vision statements, working with color. They get their crayons out and they draw. And so like I include my love of art as expression. Just like you work with color, I work with art and they draw a, a feeling or what their vision is, and then we come up with a vision statement and we do a whole process. Um it's not as typical as numerology, 1 plus 1 equals 2. It's all of it, as you discovered as well. It's all of it. It's what does it mean to you? It's, there are definitions of the one, but what does it mean to you? And what is the beauty of it, but also what is the shadow? What is holding you back? Like you could have a karmic two, for instance, and the two, which is all about love, maybe it's hard for you to have relationships. So we work on that. It's not like anything's good or bad. I guess I'm kind of like an intuitive psychologist, um, with the bent of numerology.
I understand. Yeah. And I often find that, through the conversations that I've had on this show, a lot of numerologists have another modality that they'll incorporate with numerology to sort of
Yeah,
almost create their own unique signature process. And it sounds
right,
like,
right.
you blend art therapy and numerology together for,
Hmm.
soul evolution. And that's
Right.
beautiful. I really love
Yeah.
the way you
Thank you.
operate, and it's so beneficial. I spent probably my first few years after leaving the corporate industry. And actually, what got me out of the corporate industry was the art therapy. I went through
Yeah.
a short course, and it helped me to let go of my old identity. And I think it's so powerful because, just in the way that that you align a color and a movement with a statement and an archetype can really
Yeah.
help shift old ways of
Hmm.
being. So good work, Greer. I'm very impressed. So it sounds like that you've been doing some amazing work on the planet over your
Thank you.
lifetime. And if anyone is feeling stuck in 2025, what numerology tools or rituals would you recommend to them to reconnect to their own inner inspiration?
Well, I would recommend a reading so I could describe what their inspiration is and what their destiny is and how their name reflects it. And then we would get right into what do you want this year? How is it affecting you this year? There is so much conversation on that that then we get into the grounding piece and actually creating a vision statement and like that. So it's very, very interesting. I did a class, 3-week class last month, and everyone was sharing about that, sharing about what they wanted to do this year, what they wanted to change. And it's so grounding right now for people to do this. And that's what the nine is about. It's about the question. It's not necessarily about the answer, but you need to move through and really understand what transformation is about. Because transformation is not about everything's going to change. Goodbye. It's really about connecting to self, you
Mm,
know.
100%. So a vision statement then. What's a typical vision statement that somebody might write, in one of the processes that you're guiding people through?
Let's see. Um, I'll give you one of mine once. I embrace the power that resides within me.
Beautiful. I love that. And I
Thank you.
think that a lot of people are starting to realize that they are the sovereign beings of their own life and that they are, the one that are,
Absolutely.
that are consciously creating what happens to them. Although we have a destiny, and I know it sometimes goes into conflict when, numerology suggests, our life path is our destiny, but then we also have this aspect of of free will, So I was speaking to a lady the other day, actually. She's called t uh, Tony. I can't remember her surname now, but she is a psychologist and does numerology as well. And um, Tony Riley, sorry, Dr. Tony Riley, she's called,
Mhm.
and she kind of explores that whole aspect of, she doesn't believe in free will anymore. She doesn't believe in human free will. She believes everything is destined. So it's, it was quite a big statement, and it actually, sort of took me
Wow.
back when I heard her saying it. But I think that she did explain it really, really well. I mean, what do you feel about that? What do you feel about the that
Ooh,
sort of
good,
aspect?
good question. I don't believe that. Okay, maybe the theme, like you couldn't handle doing a corporate job because you have a nine destiny. So what you enjoy more is discovery, is looking into the meaning of things, is doing numerology and working with color. That is your destiny. It's not a definite nine is a psychologist. No, it's how you look at things. And guess what? If people don't apply, they don't achieve. I am very much a non-believer that this is your destiny, this is what you do. No, it it can't. It can't. It there's no way. You what you do with your destiny number is you look at the shadow, what's holding you back. You look at the brilliance. How can I be brave and step forward when I'm afraid to do it? I free will. I mean, it, No, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I mean,
It's
there's
it's
some
definitely
astrologers.
it's a difficult
There's
one to
some
get your head around, isn't
astrologers.
it? Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
that there
So
will be quite a lot of sort of differences of opinion. I think, when
absolutely.
that episode is aired. But I think that, sometimes it's good to have sort of different perspective on things. So I understand
Mhm.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
I've always found that I am the conscious creator of my own reality, and
Right.
I almost give myself that responsibility because, it's like I'm not going to submit to something that was maybe written on an old soul contract that, maybe is a bit
Right.
dusty now. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah. Now I was going to say some astrologers say, okay, your baby is due in June. Make make the baby be born on June 10th because it's astrologically correct. I I don't believe that.
yeah, no, it's good, isn't
But
it?
yeah, it I don't believe, actually the baby will be born when the baby wants to be born, even if you force it.
That's it, isn't it? There you go. So where can our audience find more about your offerings or, get a reading or dive into some of your other online resources, Greer?
Yeah, so my website is numerology for the soul, for your soul, and it's the number four. And
Wonderful.
you'll show that. And I also have Instagram and Facebook, and it's numerology for your soul with the number four. And I also have a art website which I created because I also do websites, and um, and that's playinggreerjonas.com. So you can find me either way, either way. And I have been doing podcasts from time to time and posts and dabbling in a little social media. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, I'll put both of those links in the description underneath the
Okay,
video, Greer.
great.
So numerology for your soul and also Greer Jones as well. Okay.
With Jonas,
Jonas,
AS.
yeah. So finally, what's one numerology truth or insight that you wish everyone on a spiritual path knew?
Numerology. Well, I would say to be true to yourself and to love yourself and to hold the vibration of love and compassion.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Just like Kuan Yin.
Yes,
Yes.
just like Kuan Yin,
Just be
just
like
like
Kuan
Kuan
Yin and
Yin.
then you won't go far wrong.
By the
Wonderful.
way, the eight, which is you, is also the infinity symbol. Did you know that?
Yeah, of course. Of course, it's a lovely number, isn't it? It represents
Yes, it is.
completion on the heavenly realms and the
Right.
earthly realms as well.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, I love the number eight. Well, Greer, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for all of your wisdom and
You're
your
welcome.
incredible depth of insight today as well. It's been fantastic from decoding the inspiration number to exploring the name's vibration and the iconic charts like Elton John's. You've given us so much to reflect upon. So if you're listening to this episode and it sparked something in you, make sure you go and check out Greer's incredible numerology journey cards. Read a book or explore some of her articles. She's truly a master of blending intuition and numerology together. And also, don't forget to subscribe to the Numerology Show for more enlightening conversations like this one. Until next time, follow the numbers and also follow your joy. Bye for now.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
Thanks, Greer. Bye for now.